No, memory's everything. It's everything, you know. I mean, I think if there's anything that has, you know, prompted all of my writing, it's always been memory. And for me, it's actually memory even that I believe, you know, that sort of like, sometimes I feel like when I'm writing, that who's writing are my ancestors. It's not even me, you know, that I really feel like that the process of being a writer really has to do with opening yourself in such a way where you get information. It comes to you by kind of, you know, as I tell my students, to get their ego out of the way, and then maybe much more profound truths and stories can pass through you. And that's how I feel about memory. I mean, it's, you know, my mother in her later years, and she died of Alzheimer's, so to have that cuentista lose her memory, you know, really made me also, it just seems like that theme keeps, I have to keep confronting that theme over and over again, that we are, que andamos, you know, perdidos sin memoria. I don't know, in a deeper way, it also made me also realize for myself that this life, you know, is also very ephemeral, you know, very transitory. So that it's really, really important to be present, really be present. And the being present doesn't mean forgetting, you know, because I feel like when we forget, then we're like cultural amnesiacs, you know, that we have. In fact, the book I'm working on now was kind of inspired by my mother's loss of memory, and it really is talking about what happens in terms of a cultura when we forget, you know. And so I talk a lot about even my own familia generations now as we proceed, like looking at some of my, you know, like, you know, third and fourth cousins by, you know, like as the generations go on, and seeing how some of them have no relationship to being Mexicano, you know, ya no tienen nada de you know, sensibilidad, conciencia, y me da una tristeza tremenda, you know. It's like I just feel like it's such a great, they don't even know what they lost, you know. And the U.S. culture, you know, it is a culture always of future. It's always progressive plot line, look ahead, don't look back. And because of that, you know, they've wreaked havoc, you know, their, you know, U.S. policies have wreaked havoc on, you know, people of color cultures all over the world. It's always about, you know, profit and moving forward and the best technology. And I'm all for technology, but, you know, it's only by having a memory, you know, that you really, that kind of consciousness about sort of balance, you know, and to know that, to have a sense to be able to see what you may be destroying along the way. You have to look back to realize what was behind you, to know what just got lost by moving single-mindedly ahead. And I think that's very much the culture of Anglo-America. Has a lot to do with individualism and profit and future, and, you know, and I think what I've always loved about being Latino, you know, is that, you know, that we look back, you know, and it's oftentimes dismissed as being nostalgic, you know. And my mother was very nostalgic, and she, you know, very romantic and all that. But that's not how I see it. I just really see that the past is the only way for us to sort of unlock what we need to do now, you know, particularly with the condition of our globe, and, you know, and so much transnational migration happening, and, you know, definitely what's going on with Mexicanos, you know, this kind of desprecio that I've never in my life would I have seen, this kind of, you know, real hatred against Mexican immigrants, Latino immigrants, you know, that are indigenous people, you know, that are long precede, you know, the arrival of the gringo here, you know. And it just really, it has shocked me. I think because I was born in a much more progressive time, to see that we've gotten to this place where everybody looks at, you know, not everybody, but the popular culture looks at undocumented immigrants like a disease, you know. And it's kind of like the new, you know, they always say the new Juan Crow now, you know, because it is like a new form of slavery, you know, indentured servitude, this kind of disenfranchisement that these, you know, people are having, you know. So